Flip that tub around and actually read the back label, because what's printed there is the reason the FDA allows companies to put a pharmaceutical antifungal drug inside your morning bagel spread and still call it cream cheese. I went through 8 of the most popular brands in America, checked every current label against FDA standards and EU food regulations, and only 2 brands came out clean. Here's the breakdown. Took weeks of going through ingredient lists, comparing regulations, and checking filings. Everything here is what's on the label right now, not old info. We're going from the worst to the only 2 that actually make sense. Starting at number 8, Philadelphia. Philadelphia has been the most recognized cream cheese brand in America since 1872. Premium price, household name, most people grab it without a second thought. Then you flip it over. Current label contains natamycin, an antifungal drug used in medicine to treat fungal eye and skin infections, sitting right in your breakfast spread. The FDA permits it. Several EU countries restrict it over antibiotic resistance concerns. There's also carrageenan locust gum, pumped in as a thickener to bulk out the texture and cut production costs. 150 years of brand trust, preserved with medication. That's the gap this whole video is about. Number 7 didn't use 1 additive, they used 3. Kraft. Same parent company as Philadelphia, Kraft Heinz. Just the budget version. Different packaging, same corporate cost cutting. Current label, carrageenan locust gum, xanthan gum, and guar gum. 3 separate stabilizers, all working together to fake the thick, creamy texture that properly fermented cream cheese builds naturally on its own. When you need 3 gums to get the consistency right, it means the product was never made right to begin with. They engineered the texture instead of earning it, and charged full price either way. If this is already changing how you look at the dairy aisle, hit subscribe, because we go this deep on a different food category every single week. Number 6, costs more, wears an organic seal, and still didn't make the cut. Organic Valley Standard Line. Farmer-owned cooperative, USDA organic certified. Sustainability messaging on every inch of the packaging. People pay the premium because it signals something cleaner and more intentional than the mainstream options. Current label still has locust bean gum in it. Here's the thing people miss. Organic certification only covers how the cows were raised. It says nothing about what gets added after the dairy leaves the farm. So you're paying extra for responsibly sourced milk and still receiving a gum-stabilized product on the other end. Better sourcing is real, but better sourcing is not the same thing as a cleaner product. Number 5, brands itself as the health-conscious choice. The ingredient list completely disagreed. Kite Hill. Stocked at Whole Foods, priced like something artisanal. The branding communicates craftsmanship, intention, and a plant-based lifestyle at every single touchpoint. Current label, tapioca starch, potato starch, xanthan gum, sunflower oil, coconut cream. 2 starches and a gum. Because almond milk on its own has almost 0 fat or protein capable of forming a spreadable texture. Most commercial almond milks contain roughly 2% almonds before processing. The rest is water. The entire structure of this product has to be rebuilt artificially from scratch. The branding says artisan. The ingredient list says food science project. Those are not the same thing. Number 4 has one of the most loyal regional fan bases in the country. Here's what they've actually been loyal to. Publix Premium. Southeast shoppers will genuinely defend this one, and that loyalty is real. Publix has spent decades building a store brand reputation that feels personal to the people who shop there. Current cream cheese label includes locust bean gum and xanthan gum, the same stabilizer combination you'll find in the budget brands. The word premium on the packaging is a marketing decision, not an ingredient standard. Flip it over, and the formulation tells a completely different story than the label on the front. That kind of loyalty deserves a product that actually earns it. Number 3 might surprise you. Big name, trusted image, and a label that raises serious questions. Store brand, great value. Walmart. Great value is exactly what it sounds like. Cheap, widely available, no pretense. But the reason it lands at number 3 isn't the price. It's that the ingredient list mirrors almost everything above it almost exactly. Skim milk, cream, whey, modified food starch, locust bean gum, xanthan gum, carrageenan. Carrageenan is the one that stands out. It's a seaweed-derived thickener that has been flagged in multiple peer-reviewed studies for triggering gut inflammation. The World Health Organization's research arm previously classified a degraded form as a possible carcinogen. The food-grade version is still permitted, but the research conversation around it has been active and uncomfortable for years. Budget price, budget ingredients, but carrageenan puts it in a category of its own. So that was 6 brands that didn't make it. Now, here are the only 2 that did. And the difference is immediately obvious the moment you look at the label. Number 2, Vermont Creamery. Founded in 1984 by 2 agricultural graduates who believed small-scale, quality-first dairy farming was still viable when industrial production was taking over everything. They started small, grew slowly, and never chased mass distribution. Current ingredient list: pasteurized milk and cream, cheese culture, salt. 3 ingredients. The same 3 cream cheese has always needed, and nothing else. They use a slow culturing process that allows the natural fat and protein in the cream to develop full body and tang on its own, without any outside help. The result is noticeably denser, creamier, with a real tang that tells you the fermentation actually did its job. It costs more. It's harder to find outside of specialty retailers, and without preservatives, it won't last as long in your fridge once opened. Those are real trade-offs. But what's inside is exactly what the label says. In this category, that's rarer than it should be. And number 1, a product most people have never seen on a shelf, with an ingredient list that almost doesn't look real compared to everything above it. Nancy's Organic. Nancy started in 1960 as a small family operation out of Springfield, Oregon. Long before probiotics became a marketing buzzword, they were building their entire identity around genuine fermentation and live cultures, because that's just how they made food. Current ingredient list: organic pasteurized milk and cream, cheese culture, salt. That is the complete list. No gums, no starches, no preservatives, no antifungal drugs. The texture holds because the fermentation was done properly and completely. Nothing was added afterward to compensate for a shortcut. Nancy's also carries live, active probiotic cultures, including Lactobacillus acidophilus, that survive into the final product. That's not a marketing claim. That's functional. Yes, it's harder to find. Yes, it costs more. And because there are no preservatives, it won't sit untouched in your fridge for 3 months. Those are honest limitations. But when the ingredient list is 4 words, and every single one of them belongs there, that's number 1. That's what everything else on this list should have been. Now, go check what's sitting in your fridge right now. And if you want the same thing done on butter, that one's up next.